Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you the strategies and tactics to gain clients from Instagram without a large following. So when I look at most of the advice that mentors are giving on how to get clients through social media, it's on the preface of having loads and loads of followers, which is great. We'd all love hundreds of thousands of followers of our target demographic, and off we go. But it's just not realistic, right? It's not realistic to expect that. Even back in the day when growing Instagram was easier, it's just not realistic nowadays. And having a large following doesn't even guarantee that you're going to get loads of clients in the first place. I know guys have got 50, 100,000 followers and they can't quite leverage it because they're not putting out the right forms of content. They haven't got a very good sales funnel and they're not able to bring those people through from follower to client. So all else being equal, more is obviously better, but it's also unrealistic to expect our following to go from here to here overnight. So we need to be able to leverage what we've got. And I'll be no different. I've got less than 10,000 followers, very successful business. A lot of my clients are the same. In fact, one of my clients, Harry, he's got 2,000 followers. Before Christmas, we went from 30 to 65 clients, closed his books in a matter of months with a relatively small following. The sort of following that most people are going to say, oh, it's too small, I can't make it work. But if you've got 1,000, 2,000 people, that's still a lot of people to sell to. And if you thought of 2,000 people in an auditorium that you were talking to, firstly, you probably shit yourself thinking there's a lot of people. But secondly, you think, can I get 50 people to sign up to my coaching if they knew me? Probably. So we just got to think about it a different way. So what I want to talk to you today is how we can use our Instagram, the different types of content, what that would look like, and how we can tactically and strategically put that in place to attract and bring in the perfect clients for you and actually build a really profitable coaching business. So I'm going to go through the different types of content, what that will kind of look like, and how we can start to put that out. So I'm going to talk through 6 different types of content pieces that I want you to kind of think about, put that in place. And then what I would also encourage you to do is go and look at other coaches who are killing it, go and kill it in the game. And when using this framework, these pillars of content, look at what they're doing and think, yeah, I can see the relevance. I can see they're doing this style of content, this style of content, and they can piece it all together and it forms it. Now, the first thing I'll say is there is no magic formula to Instagram content. If anyone says that, they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you some magic beans, sign up to my program. There's no such thing. But we're trying to achieve a number of different variables. And if we can achieve all those things, you're going to increase the level of connection, the know, like, and trust, how much someone knows you, likes you, trusts you, and ultimately how much someone is willing to believe in you that you're going to solve their problems and they sign up to coaching. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. But I just want to say there's no kind of magic formula there. So if I was to start off from number 1, the first thing we need is engagement style content. So engagement style content is someone that's going to get someone to see you in the first place. They're going to engage with you, they're going to like you, they're going to start to understand what your likes are, what your opinions are, what your values are, and they're going to go through it this way. And the best way of getting this kind of engagement style content is really having an opinion. Opinions are going to be key here. So the opinions could be very much, here's what I stand for. You could be calling out the target audience that you deal with. You could be cheerleading your target audience, ultimately making it very clear what you stand for. So when I say a call out, you could say something like, you said you were going to stay in the gym. You said your New Year's resolution was to go to the gym. It's February, you're no longer there. Why not? Like that sort of content. If it was cheerleading, you say, shout out to the guys who are still in the gym in February. Right, you're shouting out the guys who are actually sticking to it. And obviously all of this is going to be based on your target demographic, the sort of person that you coach. But ultimately what we're trying to do is get engagement. You're going to see a lot of B-roll content where people got some clips, they've got some text over the top, usually very opinionated. It could be people talking to camera with an opinion, anything that's going to divide people. Because divide people look at it as a bad thing. But opinions are good. It's going to show who's going to put their hand up and say, I like this person, who's going to say, I hate your stuff. Either way, it's going to make you very, very clear on who your audience is. And it's probably going to, if it gets engagement, it's going to get pushed to the right people. It's going to increase your follower base because all else being equal, more followers is better. But not just followers of the right type. I don't really care for more followers. I care for more coaches following me. So I hope my content gets pushed to that. So the messaging I have, the opinions I have, all aimed to that demographic. And if it gets pushed and more followers, I know it's gonna be the right people. So I really want you to focus on that engagement style content, what that's gonna look like. If you want any more examples on this, by all means, sign up to the Coaching Academy. I'll put the link in the show notes below. This is my Strong Coaching Academy. There's modules in there which are going to talk through what content to make, what engagement style content looks like, examples of other content creators, and you're going to get some good ideas what you can use. But in the meantime, have a little look at other pages, see what sort of stuff they're putting out with regards to opinions, and you'll get a really good idea of stuff that you can copy. The next style of content is connection content, stuff that's going to get them to know you, increase your know, like, and trust. They know you, they like you, they trust you. And typically this is stuff where you're going to showcase your journey, talk through your story. If we think about your timeline of you as a coach, as an athlete, whatever you've done, right? You've got what you did, where you are, where you're going. And we're going to showcase bits along that entire journey. It could be, where am I right now? What's a day in the life? What's a training session like? What's a full day of eating? What did I come from to where I am now? So you could talk about how you became a coach, your physique past, your history of being overweight, your history of being a skinny guy, whatever it may be. Talk about where you're going. These are my goals for the year. This is my plan. This is me trying to get a BJJ blue belt, whatever it is. Showcasing your journey. It's going to increase that connection. And my advice to you here is don't act like an influencer, but think like an influencer. The reason influencers have got such a good connection with their audience is because they showcase who they are. They care about who they are. And it's really important that you guys do the same. I'm not saying you need to check out the deuces and get some photos in public with piss people off, but it's showcasing your journey, bringing people in. And that engagement is also going to be very much what you stand for at the same time. So you're just constantly showing people your world. Again, know, like, and trust. So if people are able to build a connection with you, they're going to feel more engaged, they're going to like you more. It's that connection style content, which is going to be absolutely huge to everything that you do. The other form of content we're going to have is teaching content. So if we know who our avatar is, we know who our dream client is, we know our audience, we know the problems they're going to face, and we're going to actually end up solving their problems with our content. Now, we don't want to make that the bulk of our content. We're not educators, we're coaches. So it's going to be a mix of all the other styles of content, but there has to be an element of this is what we do. We're going to solve these problems. We're going to show you in a number of different ways. We're going to show you why that problem exists. So if I was going to make a bit of why content, it would be why you're struggling to come up with content ideas. And I can list out the reasons, not necessarily solving the problem, but at least drawing awareness to the fact that I have the answers and that you are dealing with this problem. Then I could say some how content, so how to fix this thing. So it could be, here's 5 ways how to create better content. Right? Here's how to know what content to make. How to content. Okay, using the same example. And the other style is going to be storytelling. So me using my experience or that experience of my clients to teach you. When I first started coaching, I didn't know what content to make. Just tell the story and then they're going to buy over. Stories over stats works quite a lot of the time. So tell a story to make your point. Massively important. Now, alongside the teaching, you're going to have authority-based content. So teaching in itself is authority, but the authority-based content is very much going to be you creating a gap. So where people are versus where people want to get to, and it's you that closes the gap. So you're talking about the understanding of people's problems, why this thing happens, talking about the standards that get there. Here's what you need to do if. So if I was talking to you about coaches, here's what you need to do to become a 20K a month coach. Here's the personal standards that you need. Here's why you need to focus on your training and physique development as a 20K a month coach. Constantly showing authority within that space. And yes, all the other styles of content, your engagement content with your opinions, your connection content, you showing you living that life, being somewhat aspirational in what you do, all going to add up. And really focus on being an authority. So it's weaving authority into what you're already doing and having specific authority-based content, which is going to allow people to see that you are in fact that for them. The other type of content you want is pain point content. So pain point content, literally, as its name would suggest, highlights the pain that your audience is going to be facing. So let's talk to you guys, you coaches. So you're going to have a number of specific pain points which you're going to feel within your business. Maybe it's the fact that you feel like an imposter with your knowledge. Maybe it's the fact that you don't know what content to make. Maybe it's the fact that you don't know how to scale your business. Maybe it's the fact you think it's all going to come crashing down. Maybe it's the fact you haven't got direction. Maybe it's the fact you don't know how to get leads. All those things are pain points, something that worries you, keeps you up at night. So in order to make sure we've got a connection that I know I can help you, that becomes an emotional reaction, I have to mention that and talk about that within my content. So when you're talking to your audience, you need to bring up their pain points. And again, this is why I always go back to having a really deep understanding of who your avatar is. You'll know their pain points. And also within that pain point, you'll know their dream outcome. If you know the pain point, usually the inverse of that is the dream outcome. But making sure we have that real clear understanding. And if we've got that, make sure you hammer it home within your content. I'm not saying you should make your audience feel like crap, but you should certainly make them know that you know what the problems are and that you know how to fix it within your coaching product. Because ultimately, when we have a coaching product, all we're doing is giving people a dream outcome without their pain points, with a guaranteed outcome. And that's where social proof comes in. So social proof is essentially client transformations, client results. It's a way of you showing that you get results with people like them. Because with the social proof itself, it isn't about saying, here's my client John, look how great John did. No one really cares how John did. John cares, he's already got the result though. What they want to know is, how did John's journey look? How did he feel before he started with you? How does he feel now? What did he not manage to achieve previously? What did he manage to achieve with you? Because you're the X factor here, you're the difference. He could never get a result before, he's got a result with you because of my coaching program, and we're going to showcase that. So there's really a massive benefit to social proof in order to show you get results with people like them. Now, all these bits of content form your content funnel. You have content at the top, bringing people in. That's your engagement style content, stuff that's going to get shared, high levels of reach, engagement, likes, shares, all that sort of stuff within the Instagram algorithm. It's going to get more eyes on your page, more followers, more people looking at you. You have the middle of funnel content, which is going to be very much the connection content. People are going to know you, like you, trust you, as we spoke about, but they're also going to position you as an authority and a teacher within your audience, so people can see you get results and they're going to start to like you. People buy off people at the end of the day. At the bottom of that funnel, you're going to have your pain point content, showing people that you understand their pain points and that you're positioning your coaching product to solve those problems. You're going to have that social proof to show people you get results with people like them. And then you're going to sell as well. And this is something I see so many coaches refusing to do almost within their social media, is actually selling their content. Sorry, their product within their content. And when I say selling, I'm not just like hard selling. I'm looking for 5 guys, I'm looking for 3 girls who, none of that sort of stuff particularly helpful, okay? But we're going to talk about what it is that you do. Okay, you're going to talk about you solving problems. You're going to talk about how they feel, how they're going to feel in future with a negative future pacing. If you don't sign up with me, this is how you're going to feel in the future. If you sign up with me, this is how you're going to feel. And you're using social proof to kind of back that up. And this is a very kind of overview of all the types of content that we're going to need, but this is all you're going to need. You can build a very, very successful coaching business with these styles of content without a very large following. As I mentioned before, I've got less than 8,000 followers, a multi-6-figure business. I've got the same with many of my clients who have got 2,000, 3,000 followers and a full coaching roster. It's not because of the amount of followers they've got, although obviously all else being equal, that's helpful. But with Instagram the way it is, you aren't going to suddenly grow tens of thousands overnight. It's not going to happen. Even if you're running ads, you're only going to get the dream avatar in. And most of the time, if you are growing that quickly, it's probably the wrong sort of people anyway. So notice how I didn't talk at all about just viral content, about just going viral, doing a Aldi protein haul or a viral video. Now, not to say those things can't be helpful. It can show a great connection, good sense of humor with you. But if that's what you're relying on in totality, not going to be very helpful. It's going to attract the wrong people in. And most of the time, it's actually going to be a negative impact on your business because it's just going to be the wrong person, the wrong avatar, and it's going to be poor for your engagement. At the end of the day, we've all seen it where someone's gone viral from a cooking video or a recipe video or a workout video or a TikTok dance or something. And for me, that would be a death knell to my business. I coach coaches. I don't want 100,000 gen pop people coming in and looking at my content, because it's not going to help me. However, if it was 1,000 extra coaches who saw my content and because something went viral within my niche, not necessarily just viral in general, that's super helpful. So it's all contextual about what's helpful. So guys, those are the types of content that you're going to need in order to grow a business with a small Instagram following. As always, if you have any desire for any extra information, the Strong Coaching Academy is where you need to go, or drop me a message if you want to talk about one-on-one mentoring, which is something I offer, and I have a few spaces left available. So hopefully you found this one helpful, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video, in the next podcast. See you then.